And it's my great pleasure to announce that Nick Maxwell will be the Collingwood Football Club captain. We couldn't be happier that a young man who has fought his way through from the rookie list onto the senior list.
Maxwell, from a long way, has nailed it.
He's a bloke who's tough. He's a bloke who shows all the characteristics that we love at the Collingwood Football Club, and he's also a tremendous leader, not only amongst his playing group but off the field.
A lot of captains in the history of the game haven't been the most skilled, and you're looking at one right now. But what you do is you've got a role to play. He does it perfectly.
There's no doubt he's a good leader on the field. I mean, you couldn't question his bravery. He talks a lot. You can tell he's sort of encouraging blokes and reminding them what their responsibilities are. And he does the hard stuff.
There's all different kinds of leaders, and Nick isn't one who's going to go into the midfield and get 30 and change the game. His leadership's chopping out in the air, helping out for his teammates.
You know, I've said for a long time he's the most valuable player in our team. I truly believe that.
He's been a remarkable footballer over his time, and continues to be a very important part of what we do.
I never expected to be captain of this great football club, and never saw myself in that type of position. So I remember the whole process that there was myself, Josh Fraser, Tarkin Lockyer and Scotty Pendlebury were the four names touted, and we basically said we don't care who it is, we're still going to be working as a group, and whoever it is we're going to be supporting as much as possible. So it wasn't something that anyone was saying, oh, I really want this, I wanted to be the one who did it, and I certainly didn't think that I was one of those candidates. When we sat down and Eddie and Mick were in there and Eddie announced it was me, I just almost fell off my chair. I was very shocked, probably like a lot of people out there were. And after that, it was a really strange feeling, because I didn't know how to take it, because I didn't know if my teammates were disappointed that they weren't the ones who would be captaining the club, and so I didn't want to be obviously overly happy in front of them. And it also pretty quickly that night dawned on me the significance of what was in front of me. If Bucks and Burnsy and Jimmy Clement and these guys haven't been able to take us to a flag since 1990, how am I going to do that? These are the guys who are the greatest players in the history of our footy club. I guess that's when I started thinking about, we need to aim higher here, we need to really put it on the line, and we can't be satisfied with making finals or making prelims or making top fours. We've got to sort of aim higher and go for the premiership. And I guess that's when in early June, when I came out and said we'll win the premiership in 2009, and I still remember it across the back page of the Herald Sun, and a lot of people thought it wasn't the right thing to do to say that and put it out there, but we didn't. In 2009 we didn't win it, but it was definitely the right theory, and I thought that gave us confidence going into the next year. I can definitely tell you there was moments when I doubted that I was capable of doing the job. I remember early on I was suspended and missed 2 weeks, and I hadn't played well in the first few games, and people were saying, oh, they got it wrong, they stuffed it up and all that type of thing. And I went and caught up with Mick, and we had a coffee, and he just put a lot of faith in me and just said, just believe in yourself. We didn't pick you because of what you're not, we picked you because of what you are. So just believe you are what you are. You're in this position because you're the best person to do it, and just gave me a lot of confidence. Getting out to the last training session before the Sydney game. All quality here with the Predators.
These get kicks, they get spoils.
They're disgusting. Given there's so many players on the list, and they're all in so many different areas of their football, and some are coming towards the end of their careers and some are just starting, and you just sort of have to be mindful of the individual. Some guys you don't put any time into because you know them pretty well and you know what's required. Other guys need that constant reassurance and that constant encouragement that they're doing a good job, or they're doing everything they can to get to where they want to be. If they're not actually part of the senior 22 for that moment in time, that you're doing everything you can, mate. Keep going, your chance will come, your chance will come. So it can be challenging when you've got players who you know how hard they're trying and how much they want something, and they just can't get there because for whatever reason, either their body lets them down or someone is in their position, they can't break in. So in the end, you just got to give them as much encouragement as they can and just try and support them to help them understand or to help them believe in themselves to get where they need to be. I'm probably lucky in a way that I'm not an elite footballer, and that I always need to work on my skills, and there's a lot of areas in my game that aren't up to the standard of so many of the players around me. But sometimes you think about players who, I guess we talked about Pendles before and Bawley, who are obviously part of the leadership group, and you look at guys like that and you think how professional they are and how good at what they do, and you just wonder how they find areas of their game to work on because they're so damn good at everything. So for me, there's always areas to keep working on and keep trying to improve, and that's something that I guess keeps you improving.
Des, what do you got? What's overrated?
Nick Maxwell, mate.
Oh,
way overrated.
You're with Scarlett?
Yeah, it was just like Scarlett was well justified in his words, I think, mate. He is probably one of the worst AFL captains in history.
If there's any time that there's specific criticism, they don't know me and they don't know a lot of times what my roles are. I didn't barrack for Collingwood growing up. I went to Collingwood and obviously was named captain. I didn't understand that everyone sort of hates Collingwood, and as soon as I was named captain, 20 million people hate me straight away. We're out there just to do the best we can for our team, and all we're doing is doing a job. So it's obviously that people are so passionate about AFL football that it means so much more to them.
It's going to be a draw. It's unbelievable. But it's happened.
I remember after we drew the grand final, obviously I was interviewed straight afterwards, and some people just thought it was a raw emotion talking, and that I shouldn't have said what I said.
It's probably going to take this for the AFL to change the rule, because it's an absolute joke. There's no way it should be decided after another game.
I wasn't thinking about the next week, I was thinking about the opportunity that I just lost for this football club. And I left our change rooms with just my car keys and still in my full playing kit, boots, everything. And I drove back to Westpac Centre, and I got there and thought, we've just got to invent some different feelings. We've just got to make it up as we go. And we got around the boys, and I remember speaking to a couple of the senior guys and said, let's just turn this around and basically take the piss out of it. And so we started going around all the boys going, how good's this, boys? We're into a grand final, you beauty, how good's this? And I guess it just changed the mood a little bit around the group, where we all started thinking the opportunity's not lost, it's just been postponed.
So Collingwood win by their greatest ever margin in a grand final. It doesn't get better than that.
I actually had a chance to do a tour of parts of Victoria with the Cup. To have people just lined up for hours just to get a photo with the Cup and to congratulate you, and to have 60 and 70 and 80-year-old men put their arm around you, bawling their eyes out, holding the Cup in their hand, it meant so much more to me, because it meant so much more to them, just to see the emotion and how much it meant to them. And the amount of times that I had people say to me, I can die happy now, it just blew me away. And I remember Eddie would always say that the Cup belongs to the people, it belongs to our supporters. And we haven't been shy on the fact that the 2010 Cup has probably travelled the world 100 times over, the amount of times it's been to a wedding here and a funeral here and everything in between. So I just think that you've got a responsibility to share yourself and who you are with the people who support you every single week. And supporters appreciate when you give them your time and you share with them what this is, and it's the Collingwood Footy Club. Before I speak to the boys, that final address, it used to be something that I'd think about quite a bit beforehand, so maybe in the rooms when I'm stretching or something along those lines, and it'd just be about what the coach had asked us to do and just reinforcing 1 or 2 key points. Now I don't think about it until probably 10 metres before I get to the huddle. Every now and then there might be something that Bucks has asked me to mention, or one of the boys has said this is important. If I speak to Pendles or to Bally or someone, or one of the senior boys, this is going to be important for us. But the simpler you keep it and the clearer that message, the more chance it's getting through. It's always a juggling act between trying to be a mate and a teammate to individuals and to support the coach and support the club and what they want to do. You don't always see eye to eye with something that the club might want to do or the coach might want to do, but I feel that the responsibility of the leadership group is to take the messages that they want you to pass on and find a way to make the players understand that. And I just hope that everything we do, all the players understand that you're doing it because you want what's best for the footy club and for us as a group.
Football players aren't immune to going through the hardships of life. I've actually seen Maxi go above and beyond what anyone at this football club has. It's just who he is. That's why he's the captain. He's the people's leader. He's always voicing the opinions of others, but he'll also tell you his opinion. He'll be hard on you, but he's very fair, and that's what makes him, in my opinion, one of the greatest leaders I've ever seen.
Obviously, Bucks has had a huge impact on my career. He was, as I said, him and Jimmy were the ones who brought me along and guided me and helped me a lot and pushed me forward and probably put my name up to the coach at times. Bucks gave the number 5 down the track, and he explained to me why he wanted me to have it, even though it was sort of, at the time, was definitely wasn't something that I'd been thinking about or that I wanted because of who he was and what he'd done for the club.
Having experienced that role myself, I mean, I feel that Maxi does it exceptionally well. The players will tell you he's a player's captain and that he listens to them, and that's important. I'll tell you that he's a fantastic captain for the coaches because he listens to us and provides that support. And I'm sure if you went across to Purdy, he'd say that he lives the values absolutely and provides everything that he could to the administrative side of the club. He's just been and continues to be the personification of the type of person that you want to come out of this footy club.
Now heading home, get something to eat and quickly see the kids before head off to the airport. And
now I've got kids. You try to keep to your pre-game routine, but doesn't always go according to plan.
Definitely more difficult captaining a footy club than being a father of 2, because my 2 kids are more intelligent than most of my teammates.
Can Dad watch his show?
You've had the TV all morning.
Dad watches his, or are you going to watch yours?
I'm going to watch mine.
Oh, okay. There you go.
With the kids, I guess for me, I know how I want them to behave and I know the values that I want them to have, so it's a lot easier to actually bring them up the way that I want to.
Say bye, Dad.
Bye, Miller. Miller.
Obviously with all the boys, they are who they are. All you can do is offer them some guidance and some experience to things that you see and things that you believe. But in the end, they're all adults. It's all up to them to take on what they want to take on.